Good morning to all. Uh, Today we will start module 2 because first module is over now. We will start with the grammar and purely this module related to the grammar part, that is the construction of grammar and classification on grammar, simplification of grammar, normal form of the grammar, etc. Means they purely this particular module second dedicated to the grammar part, first one, and second one is the construction part of the Turing machine. So there are broadly we can divide the module 2 into two categories. First one is the grammar category, that is from context free grammar to equivalence पीडीए यहाँ तक पूरा. This is the part of first under this module 2. And second part is the construction of Turing machine, different types of Turing machine, designing of Turing machine, decidability problem, halting problem of Turing machine, variants of Turing machine. So all these topics are under the part this Turing machine. So basically, these are two component of module 2. So should we start this module 1, right? So here we will start the module second with the grammar parts. Okay, so we will start with the Chomsky classification first, so that we can know about the grammar and different types of the grammar, different categorization of the grammar, right? तो कई सेक्शंस में हम लोगों ने चॉमस्की क्लासिफिकेशन कर लिया था. तो अगर आप में से किसी को भी कोई डाउट है तो आप मुझे बोल सकते हैं, तो मैं थोड़ा सा रिकैप करा देता हूं, क्योंकि आपने फर्स्ट मॉड्यूल को पढ़े हुए भी टाइम हो गया. तो सेकंड मॉड्यूल का जो चॉमस्की क्लासिफिकेशन हम लोगों ने कवर किया था, तो हो सकता है आप लोगों को याद नहीं हो. तो जस्ट आई विल रिकैप द चॉमस्की क्लासिफिकेशन ऑन द ग्रामर, देन वी विल स्टार्ट द डेरिवेशन ट्री and the significance of derivation tree in the context free grammar, right? And after that we will start the simplification of the grammar. Simplification of grammar is nothing, it is just the removal of the removal of null from null production in the grammar, and unwanted symbols, unwanted production rules we will minimize. So this is the basically simplification. And after that we will learn how to convert a context free grammar in the form of normalization. Means there are different certain normalized form of context free grammar, that is CNF and GNF. So simply if a context free grammar is given to you, now we have to convert the given particular type of grammar, context free grammar, into Chomsky normal form and Grebeck normal form, right? So this is under the normal form. And finally, this is the separate topic, that is the pumping lemma for context free language. Similar to the pumping lemma of similar to the pumping lemma of regular language, this is a pumping lemma for context free language. And finally, in the module 1, you have studied about the construction of PDA. So now this is the module second started with the context free grammar. So now we have to design a PDA as per the context free grammar, or PDA from context free grammar and context free grammar to PDA, means equivalence of PDA and CFG. So that's why you must know about the basic functioning of PDA, because construction of PDA is the under the module 1, but now you have to perform the equivalence of PDA and CFG and CFG to PDA. So that's why you must know about the PDA, right? So this is the overall description of the module 2. Now we will start with the simple, as I already discussed with you. Grammar is the simple representation of four tuples. These tuples are Vn, sigma, ps, where Vn are the set of variable, sigma is the input alphabet, or you can say here the set of terminal, right? And p is the production rule, and s is the start symbol. So now the point is, मैं उसी चीज को repeat कर रहा हूँ, that I already explained you that how can we differentiate about the terminal and variable. Variable is nothing. It is just the form that can produce something. But terminal is the last stoppage that cannot produce anymore. Right. So simply the mean is, suppose this is the sentence is given to you. So this is the sentence is the variable. If the sentence converted in the form of, or you can say this is the noun, and noun is converted into Hari, noun is replaced by Hari, or noun is produced something that is Hari or Sandeep and Ravi, whatever. So this Sandeep, Hari, Ravi, these are the terminator, because noun can be replaced by Sandeep, Hari or Ravi, but Hari, Ravi, Sandeep cannot be replaced by noun. Or otherwise, you can also say that noun produce the Sandeep, Hari or Ravi, but Hari, Ravi, Sandeep cannot produce anything. So Sandeep, Hari, Ravi will be the terminal, and noun will be the what? Noun will be the variable. Similarly, in case of verb, verb is the variable, because verb will be verb produce you something. So that is, in this case, verb will produce you read. So read is the terminator and verb is the variable. So simple. In the comparison point of view, if we write any production rule, then in this case you can find the small letters or the capital letters. So always variable will be represented by the capital letters and terminal will be represented by the small letters. This is also the another difference. But the technically the main difference is variable produce something, but terminal will not produce you anything. So this is all. This is the basic representation, or you can say basic mathematical representation of grammar. So इसमें I think there is no confusion in this definition of the grammar, because I have already discussed the grammar by using tuples many times. अगर किसी को भी doubt है, then please let me know. Should I move ahead? आगे चलें? Good. Very good. चलिए. So now these are the simple rule. इसको भी हम लोग डिस्कस कर चुके हैं. तो ये जस्ट मैंने आपको रिकैप करने के लिए यहाँ से स्टार्ट किया, बिकॉज आपको ये भी पता रहेगा कि सेकंड मॉड्यूल हमारा यहाँ से स्टार्ट हुआ है. सो सपोज S to BC is any given production, that it means that this S can be replaced by BC, but this BC cannot be replaced by S. हमेशा कैसा होगा? If S tends to BC is given any production, that means you can replace this S by this variable BC, right? So it means that the reverse substitution is not possible in case of the grammar. So this is the basic validation rules for constructing any grammar or working with any grammar. And another is similarly, if S to BC is any production, then it is not necessary then B to BC to CS is also a production. Means no reverse operation is permitted. आप अपनी तरफ से इसमें कोई भी चीज assume नहीं करेंगे, right? So these are the simple validation rules. Now, simply we can represent the grammar by using these tuples. So how these tuples can be associated with a particular type of question, you can see here. Suppose a grammar is given to you like S to A S B slash lambda means null, right? And P is given as S A S B S A, ये कुछ भी दे रखा है आपको, ठीक है ना? So now, in this case, how can we identify all the tuples in the grammar? So as we know that grammar can be represented by using 4 tuples, that is Vn, sigma, P and S, right? So in this case, you can find all these 4 tuples by using this grammar. So in this grammar, you just start with the variable. In this case, you can find here, there is only S is the variable. So this is the Vn, right? And similarly, terminals, how can we find the terminals? Terminals are the small letters. So A and B are 2 terminals used in this grammar. Now, and next thing is, that is the start symbol. Start symbol means where the grammar is start. So in this situation, S is given to you because the initial production is given by S. So S is the start symbol. And production rule is what? Production rule is given to you in the form of this one. All these productions, S to A, S B or S to null. So these are the simple production rules. So all these tuples can be represented, can be explained with the help of the example also. So you must know the meaning of each and every tuple as well as the working of each and every tuple, right? So these are the four tuples: set of variable, set of terminal, start symbol, and the production rule. Now, the important point is how a grammar can be classified, or in what categories we can classify the grammar. So simply with the help of the Chomsky classification, we can classify the grammar into four categories. This is the important point here. The four categories are started from type 0, type 1, type 2, and type 3. So this is the simple representation of all the uh, category of the grammar. Now, how can we represent a grammar of type 0 and type 1, type 2, and type 3? And what are the machines or automation that that can accept that type of grammar? So this is very important point, that you have to write the relationship, or you can draw the relationship chart between the different types of grammar as well as the accepting machines. So here you can find, just a minute. So you can find here type 0 grammar means all the grammar that we consider are the type 0 grammar, and Turing machine is the automation that is used to accept that type of grammar. Now, next is the classification that can be represented by type 1. So type 1 grammar is called context sensitive grammar. In this case, linear bounded automata, LBA, is the machine that is able to accept this type of grammar. Now, type 2 grammar, especially we have to focus on type 2 grammar because this type 2 grammar is in our syllabus. So type 2 grammar is the context free grammar that we will start in this module. So type 2 grammar is the context free grammar, and PDA is the automation that is used to accept that grammar. And similarly, type 3 grammar is called the regular grammar and accepted by finite automata, that is DFA. So we have completed our this part, that is the regular grammar as well as the finite automata. After that, uh, we we started this push down automata, and corresponding that machine, we will start a context free grammar. So now we will start this context free grammar. So now the point is, how can we classify the grammar, or what are the rules that classify the grammar into different categories? So now you can find these rules. Type 0 grammar is the grammar that have no restriction. Means if you consider any grammar, that grammar will be type 0. Means without any restriction, the type grammar is called unrestricted grammar or type 0 grammar. Now type 1 grammar, simply type 1 grammar is the context sensitive grammar. So how can we decide that particular grammar is a context sensitive? So in this case, just you check the production rules that are given to you. In this case, if the productions are in the form of alpha a beta to alpha gamma beta, अगर कोई भी प्रोडक्शन रूल इस फॉर्मेट में है, so in this case, you can find this alpha and this beta are the context. Means this is the variable, and here this alpha beta are the context. So alpha can be considered as the left context and beta can be considered as the right context. So this type of grammar is called context sensitive grammar or type 1 grammar, where this A will be non-terminal or variable, and alpha, beta, gamma will be variable union terminal whole star. So are you getting this point? So in this situation, the important point is the string alpha, beta may be empty, but gamma must be non-empty. This gamma cannot be empty. So this is the restriction over the type 1 grammar. So now the example, you can find the example of this type 1 grammar, that is context sensitive grammar. So here you can find easily, that is suppose AB, AB, BC in this form. So in this case, you can see this is the simple A similarly, and beta is what? Beta is B here. है ना? And after this, you can find this is the B, and here this C and A and this one, right? So you can find here, just you see the left part of the grammar. In this case, you can find the grammar is context free or context sensitive or whatever. So in this case, you can see easily here this is A, and in left context is null, while right context is B. So this is grammar simple context sensitive. Up now point is, if any grammar is type 1, then is it possible that it will be type 2? Yes, it may be possible that that grammar will be type 2. Okay, ऐसा होगा. So we will see the example, more examples on this problem. So simply these are the rules, and on the basis of rules, we can find that a particular grammar is context sensitive or not. Now another point is type 2 grammar. Type 2 grammar is the context free grammar. That means in this type of grammar, there will not be, the context will not be allowed. So how can we define that a particular type of grammar is type 2 grammar or context free grammar? So simply, if we write the, if, or you can say, if all the productions are in the form of A2 alpha, it is very important because it is in our syllabus. ये हम लोगों को पढ़ना है अभी, तो इसको जानना बहुत जरूरी है. If the grammar is given in the form of A2 alpha, that where A belongs to Vn means set of variable, and here alpha is what? Alpha can be the combination of variable or terminal. So we can write it mathematically this way: Vn union sigma whole string. So if all the productions of the grammar are in the form of A2 alpha, where A belongs to Bn and alpha belongs to Vn union sigma whole star. So such type of grammar is called context free. Is it clear? So by default, that grammar will be type 1 also. So now you can see the difference. In this case, you can find the left side that there is no context. If the context will be there, suppose small a is there, or suppose small b is there, in this situation, this type of grammar is not type 2 grammar. Then this grammar is called context sensitive grammar. But if we remove the context from the given grammar, in this case, it is the context free grammar. But on the right hand side, you can find any combination of variable and terminal. So here you can find here variable and terminal, only terminal, combination of terminals, as well as null also, because it is the Vn union sigma whole star. So this is all about the context free grammar, that is type 2 grammar. So we should know, we should recognize type 2 grammar, that is context free grammar. And now type 3 grammar, that we have already covered in first module, that is the regular grammar, and that particular type of grammar is accepted by finite automata, that is DFA. Now how can we differentiate type 2 grammar and type 3 grammar? So simply you can see here the difference very clearly. If all the productions are in the form of X to A or X to AY, AY means just your right hand side, your production will start with the terminal. If it is, this restriction is applied throughout the variable, throughout the productions, then such type of grammar is called regular grammar. So it means that you can see type 0 grammar means all the grammar that we consider. Now we impose certain restrictions over it. Then type grammar is called type 1 grammar. Again, we are imposing certain restrictions. Then type 2 grammar. Then we impose certain more restrictions. Then that grammar is called type 3 grammar. So type 3 grammar, is the most restricted grammar, because you again and again you are imposing the restrictions over the grammar. So the grammar is called type 3 grammar. So type 3 grammar जो होगा, that will be type 2 भी होगा, 1 भी होगा, 0 भी होगा, है ना? इस तरीके से सीरीज रहेगा. So now you can find the difference here, that is x to ay, a और ay, और ये क्या होगा, b अकेला टर्मिनल होगा या क्या होगा यहाँ पर, ये अकेला टर्मिनल हो गया, ये भी टर्मिनल हो गया. और क्या होगा, अगर वेरिएबल साथ आएगा, then it will start with the terminal, then only variable. So this type of grammar is called regular grammar or type 3 grammar. So if you feel any confusion, any doubt, then we can start to resolve it. अगर कोई भी डाउट है, कंफ्यूजन है, तो आप डिस्कस कर सकते हैं. यहां तक समझ आ गया? यहाँ हम लोगों ने कोशिश की थी कि ग्रामर का क्लासिफिकेशन हम लोगों को पता लगे. ये ग्रामर का क्लासिफिकेशन हो गया. नाउ वी विल स्टार्ट द न्यू पॉइंट, न्यू टॉपिक, दैट इज द डेरिवेशन ट्री. तो अगर यहाँ तक कोई कंफ्यूजन नहीं है, तो हम लोग डेरिवेशन ट्री को स्टार्ट कर सकते हैं. ओके. अब एक काम और भी है. वी विल डिस्कस सर्टेन क्वेश्चंस, और हम इस तरीके से रखेंगे कि 3 लेक्चर, अब 4 लेक्चर हैं हम लोगों की. सो वी विल क्लासीफाई, वी विल डिवाइड ऑल दीज 4 लेक्चर्स into 2 parts. First part is the lecture part, and another part is the discussion part. So 3 lectures will be used as the explanation part, lecture part, and 1 lecture will be used as a discussion part. तो हम लोग डिस्कशन पार्ट में कुछ क्वेश्चंस आप लोगों से डिस्कस करेंगे, और उनके आंसर हम लोग देखेंगे. ठीक है ना? सो इन दैट केस वी विल गिव यू सर्टेन क्वेश्चंस on the grammar. Now you have to find out that whether this particular question belongs to type 1, type 2, or type 3, right? Okay. Now start with the derivation tree. So first thing, why derivation tree is used? Derivation tree, as the name suggests, that derivation tree is used to derive something, right? So means the purpose of derivation tree is to derive the string from the given production, or from the given grammar. So a derivation tree can be start or derivation tree or parse tree, both are the same thing. It has the pictorial representation, and have the following properties. The properties are, at the root node is the start symbol, means every derivation tree will start with the root node, that will be start symbol. अगर हम ट्री की बात करते हैं, तो ट्री हमेशा कहाँ से स्टार्ट होगा? With the start symbol, right? S. At each node, you can find here, the children from left to right are the symbols on the right hand side, from left to right of the production rule that was used. How can we use the symbols? For example, just we are going to represent these production rules in the form of, suppose, in the form of pictorial representation, that is tree format. So suppose just I want to represent this production rule in the form of tree. So how can we represent this thing? You can find here, we can represent it. Suppose S is given to you, because why it is written here that each node start with the symbol S. It is written here because in every grammar we have to start with the start symbol. So simply S will be the root node, right? So S, just this is S. And how this S can be decomposed? This S can be decomposed in ABS. So simply we can write it in that format, right? So right side of the grammar, that is the ABS. So we can write it A, B, and S. So it means that we can write all the given productions in the form of tree. And on the basis of this representation, we can derive a particular string that is generated by the given grammar. So this is very beautiful technique by which you can find the strings, that is that can be generated by the grammar, right? So this type of representation we will use. Now, yes. Now we will move to the next part. That is, suppose this is the simple example, and with the help of this example, we can derive the derivation tree. तो इसको हम लोग बाद में करेंगे. आज एक और सिंपल सा एक एग्जांपल लेके चलता हूँ. Just suppose a example is given to you like S2 A plus B slash A cross B. This is any production given to you, right? So now how can we start? So in this case, you can find here, suppose आपसे कहा जाता है इसे string इसको derive करो, क्या string निकल के आएगी. So this is the start symbol, that is S. Now what symbols can be derived with this S? So you can apply, now you have two choices. You can use this one, और इसका मतलब क्या होता है slash का otherwise. So you can use either this one or this one, any one of them, but not both. So in this derivation tree, if you are using this part, in that case, you can represent the derivation tree in that form. That is, suppose A to A plus B. So how can we write it? A plus and another is B. Clear? Now you can see here, A is what? A is the terminal, plus is what? It is also a terminal, and B is terminal. So now we cannot decompose this tree further because these are the leaf. How can you say that particular node will be the leaf? If it has a terminal, then it will be a leaf. In the second case, if you design this one, start with S, and you can find here A, and a symbol is asterisk. This is also a terminal, and finally B. So if you want to write the string that is generated from the derivation tree, just start with the left side and just move to the right side by concatenating all the terminals. So in this case, you can find easily A, and second one is asterisk, and third one is B. And in this case, left one is start with the left side, A, then plus, then B. So these are the simply languages that or strings that can be generated by the derivation tree. इस derivation tree से हम इन strings को generate कर सकते हैं. So this is the basic objective of the derivation tree, to generate the language or generate the string by the given grammar, right? So now we will start the derivation tree for a particular type of problem. So in this situation, we can find, suppose this type of problem is given to you. Suppose this string is given to you, right? And a grammar is also given to you. Now, this is the grammar, suppose, any. So now you have to check whether this string belongs to this grammar or not. So in this case, the simplest way is to design the derivation tree by keeping mind that we have to find out this string, right? So we have to apply the transitions over the derivation tree. So it will be the technique to design the strings or to check that particular string belongs to the grammar or not. So we can check it by using the derivation tree. तो आज के लिए इतना ही करते हैं. कल हम लोग इसको आगे बढ़ाएंगे, इस तरह से क्वेश्चंस को डिजाइन करेंगे. ठीक है, चलिए, थैंक यू फॉर अटेंडिंग द क्लास. और अब पढ़ना स्टार्ट कर दीजिए सेकंड मॉड्यूल. तो सेकंड मॉड्यूल भी अभी इसमें थोड़ा सा टाइम लग, क्योंकि ये नया मॉड्यूल है ग्रामर का. हम लोगों ने इससे पहले ग्रामर नहीं पढ़ी है, तो थोड़ा सा हम लोगों को इसमें पढ़ना होगा नए तरीके से. ठीक है, थैंक यू. थैंक यू.